Guys, so the number one question that I get asked about Outschool materials is how we make the thumbnails for our classes that have the backgrounds removed and the nice professional looking images. And so I'm going to show you today how I use Canva to create all of my thumbnails and all of my advertising for Outschool. I have the Canva Pro, the paid version, so I do have access to all of the extras inside of Canva, but the free version is really good as well. And it still has a whole lot of tools that you can use, especially as a beginner, to get you started creating your thumbnails and creating your brand on Outschool.
Okay, so this is a thumbnail for a class that I just created on decimals and money word problems with rounding. All that is besides the point. But whenever I make my class listings, I always include some kind of image, and usually that image has a photo of me. So this is a branding technique that a lot of people on Outschool use. I don't know for sure if this has helped me get bookings or get repeat bookings, but I do feel like now it's just kind of second nature. I always add that picture of myself or a picture of myself. So when I first started doing this, I had some older pictures that I had removed the background on. And my husband was like, "Oh, you're willing to do a photo shoot?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, you need something more professional, right? So I went ahead and did a more professional photo shoot per se. I just set up my tripod, ring light, whatever, and took some pictures of myself. And I used those images inside of all of my thumbnails now, or any advertising that I do for Outschool and Facebook. So the way that we include these background-less images on Canva is clicking on the image, going to Effects, and then hitting Background Remover. Now, I have the paid option, but I do believe on the free option, you can remove a certain number of backgrounds, but I'll also link some sites in the comments that will allow you to remove backgrounds for free. Remove.bg is one of them, but there are other options for that. Canva does it very quickly and very easily, and so I use Canva all the time. But like I said, I think that the free option does allow for some background removal. Anyhow, so I include these images. I always remove the background. It just looks better. It looks more professional. Whatever I decide which picture I want to use for this particular class or this particular thumbnail. And then I move on. So anytime that I'm creating a thumbnail for my class, I usually use a presentation. So if you go to Canva and it asks you what you want to make, I usually start with the presentation slide, and that's just because the size matches pretty well with what Outschool likes for you to upload. Usually the first thing I do is input some kind of background. Now, they give you different background options as templates, and so you're welcome to use any of those, but usually when I'm making a thumbnail, because I don't really need the text, and I'll talk about that in a second, I usually either start with a background or a photo. And so if you choose a background, they've got a lot of free options to choose from. You can make different colors, different gradients, different designs in that background, or you could also search for things that might be more, that's not a book, there's a book, that might be more relevant to your class. But usually when I find relevant backgrounds, I find them in photos. So if I search for books, for example, in photos, I can find some pretty cool backgrounds. Now you'll see when I hover over this one, it says free in the bottom right-hand corner. This one here says pro. So anything that says free, those are the things that you have access to inside of the free version. And then they also show you all of the pro version stuff that you can't have to try to get you to upgrade. So it's really up to you. At first, I would probably just stick with the free version because yeah, if you're just using it for this, then it's really not that big of a deal. So I can set the background using a photo or an image. That's fine as well. It doesn't have to be an actual background. I just resize it so it fits. And then I usually enter my photo, my actual picture. I remove my background. I wait for that. I fix the size, and you gotta let it load. Don't want to mess with it till it loads because it will get glitchy. And then I resize and move it where I want it to go. And then I usually go through and add elements. Now, elements already have the transparent backgrounds most of the time. So when I look for things, it usually pops up with transparent backgrounds, and then I can just move them onto my background without having to remove it. And so it's also important that if you want Outschool to advertise your classes on Facebook and Instagram, which they do for you using this platform, that you do not put the title of your class as text inside of the thumbnail. This seems kind of counterintuitive, and you've probably seen other people do it, but they say in the listing that they cannot use the image to promote your class if it has text, copyrighted images, or numbers inside of it. So I just leave text out of it completely. I only do symbols, pictures, photos, backgrounds, cool things like that. And then when I create advertisements for Facebook or Instagram to promote on Outschool Facebook groups, then I might add some text to my backgrounds or to my thumbnails just for posting on those advertisements, not for the actual thumbnail in Outschool. So what I do now is I go ahead and I download it. I don't download it as a PDF because that is not going to upload correctly into Outschool. I usually do a JPEG because it's a small file size and I know that it's going to upload. And so once I have that downloaded, I can go to my teacher dashboard. So on my teacher dashboard in Outschool, whenever I want to create a new class, I just go to classes and I add a class. I'm going to put something in for the listing, like anything for the title. They're going to be like, what are you doing? Anyway, they don't see it until you actually submit it. But down here where it says image and video, I always upload a cover image. Sometimes I do a video, especially if it's like a long semester course or something like that. But a lot of the times I just do the cover image. You've got to have one of those. And then you go to add an image. And then right here, they have already downloaded my JPEG. And I can just drag and drop it. And then see how it's very, very close to the actual dimensions I need. And I can just adjust it wherever I want it. I hit save. I upload it. And then I have that image there. Hopefully that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about how I use Canva to brand myself on Outschool and create advertisements and thumbnails, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.